nuts. It was kind of bonkers today. How does that feel in the park? Well, it didn't look great. We're gonna tour the entire park, check in on every attraction, get into a little park science. This is our State of Knott's Report. Fresh Baked, we're back at Knott's Berry Farm. It has been maybe 2 months since we've been here, since our last State of Knott's Report. I'm really excited to be here. Energy feels high as I'm coming into the park. Parking was pretty busy. The front gates are pretty busy. Let's see what's happening. And as promised, we are here today on a weekend, Saturday afternoon. It is 1:09 p.m. and on a Saturday afternoon, we can't get any more prime than this right now, Fresh Baked. So this is as good as it's gonna get as far as crowds go. So I'm hoping to find a little better vibe here on this Saturday afternoon. It's about 78 degrees right now too, so perfect conditions to be enjoying Knott's Berry Farm today on a Saturday afternoon. We're gonna go down Main Street for a little bit, check out Ghost Town before we start hitting attractions. But I have a suspicion that we are gonna find a lot of guests in the queues today. This should be a good situation, a prime situation for some good park signs. I'm a big fan, dude. I love your stuff. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Hope we get it. I can tell you right now, though, the vibe does feel a little more energetic, a little more crowded today than we found last time. By the way, we are going to be getting all over Ghost Town. I wonder how much of this we're going to get throughout the rest of the park, though. I do love Main Street and Ghost Town, but we can't get too far into this because we gotta go start. We gotta get back to Ghost Rider and get into some of that park science that's kind of separated from everything else. So we're gonna go check that out first, look at that queue, and then we'll make our way back down Main Street again and into the rest of Ghost Town. And already we are off to a rough start. Although you can't see it, the queue is backed up here at Ghost Rider. Down there into the gold, Pan for Gold section, the queue is backed up into the first mine train or into that first tunnel. Posted wait time. This is where things get interesting, kind of hard to figure out at Ghost Rider. The maximum that'll show is 2 hours on that dial. It doesn't go any higher than that, but I don't think I've ever seen it lower than that either, even when it's not 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead though and assume that it is 2 hours, because as we walk by, there again we can see they're coming out of the mine there, through the Pan for Gold section. Ghost Rider, I tell you what, we're just gonna take this walk, hey guys, take this walk and just see how much we can see. I mean, it looks sticky as heck there. Is it even running? I can't remember the last time I heard a train come by here. They don't look happy or comfortable. Oh, there goes one right there. By the way, let's just mark that time. 1:22, that train went by. We'll stop for the next time we hear a train go by, we'll mark the time. I can't tell if they're running more than one train or not, because last time we were here, they were running, in fact, just one train. This is where we get lost in the queue because we can't tell really how many people are in there inside the barn, but obviously it looks very, very full in there. Looks very full over here too. And you go up them stairs, even on those stairs right there, and they go straight to the ride vehicle from there. Before we even get started, this is, you know, one of those prime examples of how difficult Knott's Berry Farm can be without a fast lane or some other means of skipping the line. You know, 2 hours, my God. Especially if they're just running the one train, which we're going to try to hang around here, but we'll find out more when we get into the park to see what the other attractions are like. But as a matter of fact, you know what, we're here, the app wasn't working at all. I checked the app again today because I wanted to see what the actual posted wait time was for Ghost Rider. I have no idea. Ghost Rider, I pulled up the app, sorted it by alpha, so it should be there, right? But it should be right there in between the F and the H. I do know my alphabet, and it should be right there, but it's not. So, and it's not, and then we scroll down a little further, and all that's left are the closed attractions, which there appear to be numerous, which we'll get into later. We'll look at that board later, hopefully. So I have no idea what the posted wait time is for Ghost Rider right now. So that's 1:26. 4 minutes later, our next coaster goes by. So they're sending a vehicle every 4 minutes. So that's got to be at least 2 ride vehicles. That's That sounds to me like one in the station, one on the track, is my guess. I can't see the track or the station though, so I don't know how true that is, but because it takes them a few minutes to cycle the guests in and out, and probably, you know, a good 2 or 3 minutes to go around the track. So yeah, I'm guessing they're running 2 trains, which is better than 1, obviously, but that is certainly going to make standby here quite excruciating. I would very much believe if that queue wound up taking 2 hours. I'll tell you this, last time we were here, they were running just the 1 train. We were watching the back of the queue here, and it was a good 3 or 4 hours. I came back periodically throughout the day. I would try to find, you know, the back of the queue somewhere, wherever they could have been. It was difficult, but I came back on a few occasions and I kept finding it. I would go through the whole park, and I came back and, you know, it was, you know, 2-3 hours later, they were still in the queue. So I'm gonna guess, what's up? I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a full 2 hours at least. We'll find out. I'm gonna try to come back. So a rough start this afternoon on a Saturday afternoon. But I would have hoped for something like this, to be honest. Little spurs. Maybe we can cleanse the palate a little bit. Check out the wood carved, man. That's the real deal. Let's go take a peek inside the shop real quick. Awesome. It smells like wood in here. That's great.
Welcome everyone.
Hello. Classic merch. Straight up Knott's Berry Farm. I dig it. Sunglasses. Pop guns. Is that a baby goat in a papoose? Oh look, Whittles. I just keep hearing howdy partner in my head. This is the best part of Knott's, just these, you know, ghost town type stores like this and the attractions. And that's a chicken. Curious, that chicken? You know what they're known for here at Knott's Berry Farm, right? We'll head back into Ghost Town next. Say hi to those fellas. Ghost Town, or I mean, I'd say Knott's Scary Farm is coming up. We're going to be back here in a few days for Knott's Scary Farm. Not sure if we'll be putting that show up on this channel, our release. So I don't know if people are really interested in watching those kind of videos on this channel. Ghost Town here. Blacksmith doing a little blacksmithery there. Awesome. To give it a, you know, Halloween feel here. It already feels like that, I guess is what I'm saying. You just add a few pumpkins and it definitely feels very fall, very festive. That is a former saloon dancer up there. Here's our first closure, the livery stable, not open today. Now there's something I wasn't expecting. It's 1:36, so it's still a pretty good lunchtime right now, and the Fireman Brigade has just a fairly short wait. I will often, usually on a busy day, find this queue down there by the mill. The Catawampus, yeah, that guy right there. You'll find the back of the Fireman's Brigade queue. Can't tell if the Birdcage Theater is doing shows right now. It does do shows, but I don't see any show times posted. So that could be another down attraction. Oh, my goodness. Okay. The Wilderness Dance Hall is also not presently open, although I'm not sure to that question. Looks like we did find Whittles. Here we go, we got our first open attraction, or second open attraction. The Calico Rapids. That is the back of Standby, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Standby. This here is Fastlane right there. That is pretty nasty right there. Let's see if we can't figure out where we are on that one. The queue travels through all these trees, all the way down that way, then it comes back. You can see them way down there in the distance. Makes like a big U-turn up here. They're calling that 45 minutes. there's some more of that queue back there, going through all those trees. I mean, that's 45 minutes. I feel like that's gonna be pleasant. I can see myself waiting 45 minutes for that. That looks great. Let's keep this party moving. Go to Pony Express next. When I checked whatever Knott's version of the tip board is called, it showed that Pony Express was closed. It definitely is not now. We've got about 5 guests there in Fastlane. That's out here in the extended queue. Oh, there it goes. Oh, hey, let's catch up. Can we get there in time? There they go. That's the shortest ride ever. They're done. Yeah, back of the queue is right here. About pretty normal. Posted at 45, and I would say, yeah, it's about that actually. We did the queue math on this one right there on the steps. It's not exactly a quick loader. It doesn't go quick because there's just the one train. Although actually I take that back. It's going good if there's 2. Sometimes they'll do one in the station, one on the track. And right now the ponies are waiting to go into the station now, which tells me that they haven't launched the other train yet. Let's see. That's something you want to look for. You want to make sure they're running 2 here. Otherwise you are definitely going against the grain. And hard to see. It's elevated.
All right, riders, if you're ready to rock, can I get it?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're about ready to launch that guy. Yeah, there is one in the house. So they are running 2. Goes without saying. You want that. You want 2. If they're running, you can't ever get more than 2. You're never going to get more than 2. But you can't get just 1. And when they're running just the 1, that obviously cuts your time, or your doubles your wait time. So 45 is probably pretty standard and optimal at this point. That's a cool little moment. I got to give them Pony Express. I got to give them that moment when you do that turn over the Rapids River there. It's not a bad ROI, I think. I mean, it's short. It's like 40 seconds, I think. It's fun. It's the closest thing you're going to get to riding Tron. I'll say that. Oh, look at that. There's actually a queue back here for the bumper cars. That might actually be 2 rotations here. The guests are on the other side back there. That's more guests, but that's actually the most I've ever seen here in many a visit. What kind of bumper car guest are you? Are you the kind that tries to avoid getting hit, or are you trying to make contact? Because I feel like there are 2 ways to do it, and both are valid. Reminds me of Bugs Land. They were the worst bumper cars. Those were not good bumper cars. They barely bumped at all. It was the most low impact thing ever. And with that, we are arriving or approaching Charleston Circle, specifically the corner of Memory Lane and Charleston Circle. Healthy queue. Oh, look at this. We got a couple of those devious pie-stealing foxes. They look a little crazy. Interesting. I've only ever seen the bear. I've never actually seen the foxes out and about. Anyway, with that queue, it does look, I mean, you take the stairs up to get to that interior part back there in the factory. I don't know how deep that factory queue is, but they're calling it. It sure does, yeah. The app is saying 60 minutes. I've waited in a queue similar to that, and it wasn't 60, but you never can tell because it's hard to tell how much fast lane is going on in there. But I don't think that, well, it also depends on ops. Ops are not very good here at Knott's, so what you would think should be a quick moving load and unload type situation. I've watched before. It takes quite a while for them to even cycle something like an Omnimover style. Well, it's not quite an Omnimover, but anyway, you get my point. It should go quicker, but it doesn't. My. Now that, wow, that's impressive, you guys. The little pumpkin display out here. They got those big ones that are in the center where the fountain normally is. Got a bunch of pumpkins out here. This looks great. And then actually, there's even more out here in front of Knott's Berry Tales. This is well done. kudos to Knott's Berry Farm. Look at that. This is better. This is better than anything I've seen at Disneyland. That's great. Not ready for Knott's B yet. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I'm going to keep going through the rest of Ghost Town first. This is a touchless, I think. There's nobody here. It's M&T just, or what you've grabbed out of the thing, out of the, you know, the freezers, etc. And you just walk out and it automatically charges your card. Or not automatically. I think you have to swipe first. I think that's what they're doing. You swipe your card, you go through. Oh boy, this is I'm already got a lot of anxiety. The anxiety being, I've been to a lot of quick service locations here and it takes forever to do literally anything. So we're gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna go in there and tap my card, see how long it takes me, how quickly I can get in and out of there just for a bottle of water. Just enter, swipe, get your stuff and go, right? Okay. I have been allowed in, the doors are open. Dasani's good. I know it's not as good as Smart. Oh, that's not cold. Let's see. There we go. That's a cold. Okay. And then you just walk out. Just like that. Okay, I may have already changed my mind. That was really easy. And the thought of waiting to, you know, to go to a quick service to get a thing of water, or even, there's not a lot of ODB here at Knott's Berry Farm. There's not a lot of carts out here where you can just grab a thing of water like you can at Disneyland. The thought of waiting at one of those quick service attractions just to cure my thirst on a hot day would be enough for me to pass and not get anything to drink at all. So I'm gonna say that was a win right there, man. That took less than 30 seconds. I was in and out of there. Now the only thing I'm worried about though is that I grabbed 2 bottles. I grabbed one and then put it back because it was warm, and then I got another one that was cold. So I'm wondering if you know, what I'm going to get charged for. And by the way, I'm also worried about a $7 bottle of water. People talk about Disneyland being expensive. I don't care how much better Dasani is than, or worse Dasani is than Smart Water. I ain't paying $7 for that. No way. Looks like the Rio Grande just pulled in. Curious. Let's go take a walk around. You know, I don't really have a set route. I just realized I don't really, oh my. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm getting on that train right now. That's at least a full train's worth of guests right there. Wow. I think, maybe? I don't know, that seems like a lot of people. You know what, I'm gonna find out. Back of the queue is right here. Let's see if this queue gets on the train, if the back of this queue gets on that train. 2:15, they start boarding guests here. You can pretty much get in anywhere you want. So I'm wondering, like, at what point do they fill every single seat? How observant are they towards that, I wonder. Okay, it looks like they stopped guests. They're holding. Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, not even close. I'd say they need 30, probably 30 more guests to go to get to where we mark the back of the queue. And yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. No, we would not have made this train. So the bad news is that they're not gonna make that train and they're gonna have to wait basically just the one train. Whereas at Disneyland, they will run 2 trains, sometimes 3, actually usually 3. They run just the one train, it has to go around the whole track. So that's the bad news. The bad news is they have to wait where they load and unload guests on those trains. It's one round trip and that's it. There's no stopping anywhere. So they only have to wait for it to make that round trip, which is probably about, I mean, 10 minutes. Because we're coming up on the Butterfield Stagecoach, which also runs just one stagecoach, but has a considerably much longer wait. There goes. Wonderful. Where you could do that in 10 or 15 minutes, 15 or 20. 60 minutes for just a tiny little queue like this, because you can get about 10 or 12 guests per stagecoach, and it takes about 10 minutes to get the full loop done there. So that says 60 minutes right here, and it's definitely both Ghost Rider and the Rapids, the Calico Rapids, to see how the back of that queue is doing, see how far along they've gotten. Checking Calico Rapids first. I got here about 40 minutes after I marked the back of the queue. Waited around for, you know, a good 20 minutes or so. It's now been an hour since the back of the queue hit the queue. I'm pretty sure they beat that 45 minutes, because I have not seen the back of the queue on any boats or getting out of the attraction or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure it is less than the posted 45 minutes. Let's go check Ghost Rider. By the way, something that I didn't notice when we came back here the first time, right here is where they had that wood carving play thing where a guy would carve wood out there in front of everybody, and then they would sell all the wood carvings out here. That is gone completely. I often ask myself, I often wonder, how did they sell anything there at that wood carving station? Because they sold those things for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Buy a $1,000 bench. Got back here to Ghost Rider about 2:49. It's about an hour and 20 minutes since we left it. I can't find the back of the queue, but I did find some fresh baked pans in the queue, and I asked them how long. They're right in the shaded area back there, which is pretty deep into the barn. They said they've been in that queue for more than an hour, but they're not sure how long. But I'm going to give it probably 80 minutes or so, about an hour and 20 is my guess. And they still got a couple more switchbacks to go inside that, then they still have to go up area there. So yeah, an hour and 20 minutes so far to get from the back of the queue to that second section of the barn. Yeah, that's going to be 2 hours, but at least that's the good news, is that it's not worse than that. Hey, how are you? You know, it's going to be at least approaching what the posted wait time was, best as we could tell. That little dial doesn't work very well, and it's not on the app. So 2 hours, yeah, looking like it. We'll get back to where we were in Ghost Town. Actually, we're going to pass by Sutter's here real quick, because this is one of the spots that I often will check to see how good, you know, or how long quick service. This is one of the more popular locations Sutter's is. I think because of the kind of food that they serve here, the, you know, basic cheeseburger, chicken sandwich type stuff, or chicken strips. And that is right there a healthy queue. These people are going to be here for 45 an hour maybe, I think. Seen worse, but that's a pretty good sized queue there for Sutter's. And I wonder sometimes how that gets to that point, because I feel like Fireman's Brigade is a much better dining location than Sutter's is, isn't it? I think so anyway. I'd rather get, you know, one of those, like the quarter chicken or the ribs, you know? We're making our way over to Camp Snoopy, but I wanted to stop at Silver Bullet to show you that this attraction is down. Silver Bullet is closed, so we can't really evaluate this one. And I'm getting a no train vibe here for Camp Snoopy. You know, I think I see a train in the station there. You know, something I never check in on is Sierra Sidewinder. I come to Camp Snoopy. This is a major attraction, Sierra Sidewinder is. I never actually check the wait times here. I will do in just a minute, but let's observe first. They brought the clock back. Looks great. Wow. Better than before even. And one to the station, I think that's it. I don't think they run two on the track. And it's posted at 60 minutes. There they go, they're done already. That's a quick ride also. They're so happy, I love it. I love to see that right there. I was just, before I started rolling, I was admiring that sign. I love a wood, nothing fancy, just a good old-fashioned wood carved sign. You gotta love that. This queue does not look all that deep. Is it that slow of a loader, Sierra Sidewinder? I don't see any more hidden queue back there. took them a few minutes to load the next ride vehicle, so even though it's a short queue, it takes a while for them to process those guests. There it goes. That looks fun. I have to say, that looks really fun. All right. It's like Goofy Sky School or Hagrid's, but on, you know, with a twist, literally, because the vehicles do spin, but it's a little bit longer and a little bit more, you know, there's a little bit more barrel roll type action there. That looks like a lot of fun. It'll probably make me sick though. With that, we'll keep exploring Camp Snoopy. They've put all the umbrellas up over the benches. Great. You've even got some prefab barn type coverings here, which is great. These weren't here before. They have in fact finished. Remember I was here last time. I was remarking that they had put those kiosks up without actually painting them, and I thought that's got to be some kind of violation. You can't have unfinished wood out here. But they finished it. A full show. As a matter of fact, I doubt they're doing a show here because they've got all these Halloween decorations up here. Every year Camp Snoopy is one of my favorite parts of Knott's Scary Farm because it's more immersive. You know, there's a lot more opportunity to decorate things. They take more care to decorate areas. It's more about the scares, you know, the people running around and the little zones that they set up here. I like Camp Snoopy at Knott's Scary Farm. I thought maybe the Beagle Express was not running, but it most definitely is. On a busy day, this is almost unrideable because they have just the one train. So it takes, you know, they got to load the whole thing, and then you got to run it around the track, and then you got to, my goodness. So this is a 45 plus right now. There's not a lot of guests in the queue, but it's more likely to find this at an hour or so. Because it does not go quick though. Made my way up to Grizzly Creek Lodge to check in on what's going on over here. And it's still dirt, still just plain, nothing but dirt. They haven't done a single bit of anything here. Man, look at that door. That door right there has seen better days even. My gosh, what's happening there? Wow. I love coming up here though. Not to sort of spy on construction. I love getting high and long views of a little bit. It's popping. Quite hectic down there. Although look, the queue is shortened a bit for Sierra. They must have loaded a train. That's what it is. They've loaded a train, and then it'll take, you know, 45 minutes an hour for that train to go around, and then by that time the queue will grow again because the queue's not going to move now. That's it. The queue is stopped. Look at all the pumpkins, you guys. Wow, that's great. And it's all, you can see it's on the track as well. The train is going to go through a bunch of pumpkins when it flows through. This is so much nicer, so much fuller and complete, decoration-wise, Halloween decoration-wise, than you see at Disneyland. And over the other side of Grizzly Creek, you can actually hear it. You can hear the water moving, the waterfalls are running, which is great. We've been waiting for them to open this up. You can go back there in the caves. You can go on the barrel bridges there. It's awesome. I don't see Snoopy and some of the other characters here, but it's nice that you can have this sort of aesthetic happening while you have your lunch over here, and then when you're done, go down there, explore a little bit in the caves and on the bridges. That's so great. I gotta tell you, man. I love it. I love this derby, and they've really brought in the whole camp vibe. I think it's great. Poor Charlie Brown, though. He did find a rock. Always with the rocks, Charlie Brown. You know, I have to say, because the tickets here are so cheap, you can make the argument that if you're, you know, you got a family, you got little kids, that this is your whole day is just right here in Camp Snoopy, and it's probably worth the price of admission. If you can manage to, at the Woodstock ride, the, what do they call it, the Tender Paw Twister. This one is another slow loader. Posted at 70 minutes right now. That's what I mean, it's gonna take you all day. If you want to bring your kids here, it's gonna take you all day to visit it. But there's lots to do. I mean, this place has got more attractions per square foot than anywhere else ever. Wow. And it's not even that deep a queue, but it's just because they can only run the one track. It goes around twice. It just takes forever to cycle one of these things, but it's a delightful looking attraction. I actually parked here because I wanted to catch some B-roll of the Tender Paw Twister going around the track, and I've been standing here waiting for that vehicle to launch for a solid 5 minutes now, waiting for it to launch. And I started this take with the expectation that it would launch at some point while I'm talking to you all, but they've just been sitting there. That's Berry Farm spirit and the Camp Snoopy spirit is that they just can't do things with any sort of. Are they running 2 stagecoaches? I just saw a stagecoach go by. And now there's another one. Here, in the time that I've been standing here waiting for this Tender Paw Twister to get going, we've been rolling now for 1.5 minutes. I'm just gonna hang in there. This is what I'm talking about though. I'm catching this live as we go. And like I said, it was a solid 4 or 5 minutes before I started rolling, before I turned the camera on. I was just posted, waiting. I feel like they're about ready to launch. I can feel it, but it's gonna happen. But imagine just chilling in that queue right now. This whole time. There he comes. Look at Snoopy go. Look at him go. Look at him. Woo! And let's go again. All right. Oh, there's water over there. I didn't even see that before. Yay! And there you go. The whole ride is about 1 minute. And they do 2 laps. That's a load-unload issue. That's a cycle. I think this is the queue for, well, I want to say Rocky Mountain, but it's not called that anymore. The off-road rally. Wait for the off-road rally. God, look at these pumpkins though. Come on. Those are terrific. I'm gonna try to find. Great job of theming the interiors in there with all the. Anywhere. There should be a whole thing right here, you know, the up, whatever. That's completely gone. Same thing on the other side, that's missing. Oh, you could, like they do at the other ones, but this is a much longer attraction with a longer, happened to me last time I was riding here, which is a prime example of the issue. I'm gonna just sneak in here real quick. Find where they, okay, here they go, they're pulling in. It's 3:35, and they're pulling into the station because they're still trying to load the other vehicle in the house, the one they're gonna send out next. So this vehicle that got in that pulled up at 3:35 to load it in the next vehicle, they should have this in the house right now, should have already been on the tracks. You go to Incredicoaster at Disneyland, you're gonna have 3 on the tracks at a time. They just left. I think I say this every single week. That's such a no. We'll go check in real quick. And a couple of more remaining attractions here at Fiesta Village. Wow, look at the queue for Revolucion. I don't think I've ever seen it wrapping around the sign here, by the way. Wood carved sign, I love it. But that is a lot of folks. I don't see a posted wait time. Let me check the app. Cycle these guests right here, 15 minutes. The queue is going around the sign. It goes all the way down this stretch back there. You got a bunch of switchbacks back there. There's no chance. This is a solid, you know, is that good or bad that they're off by so much on the app? Like, why you lie? But then way low. So what's the message they're trying to send if they're doing that intentionally? I don't think they are, mind you. No chance of that. I think they're just really bad at their jobs. This is delightful. Again, this looks better than the setup they have in Frontierland, I think. Anyway. That's really, really neat. I love the color. That looks great. Okay. Hat dance, there's no posted wait time that I can see, and it's not listed on the app either, so it doesn't look that bad though, actually. There's just a small queue back there. Glad to see this is back again, still. Doesn't look too bad. Shortish wait, that's the back of the queue right there, I think, so that's probably just a couple rotations. Oh no, I'm sorry, the Dragon Swing starts here. I mean, they have, it's nice, it looks nice and everything, and the park is enough. Like when you're at Disneyland, just being at Disneyland is enough. I don't get that feeling when I'm here, at least not to the extent that I do at Disneyland. There's some moments of that. I'm having fun. I like being here and I like the vibe, but I would like to do that. Yeah, I just heard the sound of that train coming around the corner. You hear it? On the train. I almost think I would like to do that one day. All right. And we'll now make our way over to Knott's Berry. My least favorite part. Although the rides are fun probably, but it just doesn't have that same feeling as the rest of Knott's does. "90 minutes" it says over there on that sign. Wow, not a lot of guests, so that means they're running just one tower, I would bet. They just launched. These two appear to be down. Yeah, because they want to go on Supreme Scream. If you want to wait 90 minutes. Wow, that takes some real dedication. But it's probably the scariest ride in the park for me. That part right there, the waiting. I've never felt close to my feet dangling and just waiting and waiting and waiting. It felt like a lifetime. The drop itself, no big deal. You know, the more you drop, the closer you are to getting on the ground. The way I see it, I'm not afraid of that. It's just the staying up there. Accelerator has been online again for a little while now. We're going in the opposite direction than we normally do, so I don't know what the wait time is yet. And I'm waiting for them to launch. I know there's one back there somewhere. That might be the second closest feeling I've ever had to death. as you reach the top and you start to go down, you know, I'm a thin guy, so I caught air out of my seat. And I would definitely be a goner if it wasn't for those harnesses, that's for sure. 75 minutes, man. I honestly don't know how people, that's the thing for me, like I don't mind standby. If you make that whole thing, if you make the whole experience part of the experience, I don't mind waiting. Well, I can figure out a way not to, but if I didn't have a choice and I had to wait 75 minutes for Rise or Indiana Jones, show. The whole thing is a show. I just don't, you guys, Coast Rider, they got people waiting 90 minutes. 90 for Goofy Sky School Light. How do you wait 90 minutes for Coast Rider? How? Yeah. 90 minutes. What do I do at hang time? What about? You know, Fracturing, it's a fun ride. It's unique in the sense that you got that vertical thing happening right here, and then there's a lot of barrel rolls and inversions or whatever, and it's great. But seriously, people cannot stop talking about how long it takes to wait on a ride at Disneyland, and how it's Lightning Lane costs $20. Guys, it's 120 minutes here for hang time, and if you want to beat that, we need to have an equal conversation about these things. And again, don't get me wrong, I love Knott's Berry Farm, and I don't like Lightning Lane. Not a fan of Lightning Lane, not at $20, not at $100. I'm not a fan of it. But you were forcing people to do it. At least at 20 bucks, it's a reasonable option, and the standbys are still not as bad. They're selling more of them at Disneyland, but they're so much better at I feel like I have this conversation every month. But I guess the point I'm making now in this part of this conversation is that we can have a conversation about the merits of happening here at a park like Knott's Berry Farm, where people say it's quite a bit. The APs are a lot cheaper, and you know, the tickets are a lot cheaper, and this is true. But is it really though? Is it really? Let's be fair. Good news is you still got Calico Mine Train. Calico Candy. Is that some sort of seasonal overlay? Posted at 45, which is about right. I've waited in this line. I've waited all out here. That's one of the few attractions that I've done some serious recon on. And that's a 45-minute queue. And that's with Fastlane having its influence, no doubt, because they are installing the Knott's Scary Farm overlay, which is quite fun, actually. I'm really looking forward. I hope we do get a chance to do that next week when we come to Knott's Scary Farm. Although we tend to just do the houses, but one more stop here before we wrap. The Butterfield Stagecoach is at 120 minutes. That's the back of the queue here. Incredible. But one thing that I can observe, though, is that I think they are running stagecoaches on the track right now. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. They're still running 2 hours. You know, I can't just do these once a month state announce reports. I'm gonna have to come over here and do a little, you know, intentional recon. Perhaps I don't know, man. I gotta figure this out. But, you know, bottom line at the end of the day here is that if you're gonna come to Knott's on anything that is remotely approaching a busy day, just go ahead and add $100. Add $100 to your ticket. Or if you have an annual pass, add $675. Because Stagecoach for 2 hours, can you imagine? But you know what's funny? Stagecoach doesn't have Fastlane. So you really got to want to ride that Stagecoach if you're planning on doing a bunch of attractions, which why wouldn't you be if you're coming to Knott's Berry Farm, right? I think that's really, that's the recon for Knott's, really, is when to come and when not to. But this is a no today. If you want to do it standby, and you know, add single day ticket, I guess, or get the annual pass for that matter. Just do that and then enjoy yourself. So the annual pass is very cheap, even if you're out of town. That's the tip right there. That's the suggestion. And then $675 for the fast lane, which they can still get. They used to sell out of those. They don't sell out of those anymore. They're just selling all they can. That's our show, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you like this show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. And of course, join our newsletter, link in the description. I hope you guys can find room for that as well. Otherwise, we love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.